Okay guys, I'm back with another update here. Been making a little bit of progress here since the last video. I got my transmission all tore apart. I realized when I went to check the splines on the output shaft here, I pulled it apart to check the fifth gear and everything to make sure it was all good, that the input shaft, or I'm sorry, the main shaft was actually the one is for the gasoline model for like a 1500 or whatever. So yeah, I kind of got screwed on that deal. I ended up buying one, and the guy that sold it to me swapped out the input shaft and the bearing retainer here to make me think, you know, at first glance that it was out of a diesel truck, because those parts are interchangeable. So he put a diesel input shaft and bearing retainer in the front there, so it had the appearance of a, a diesel model, but it turned out to be one that was out of a gasoline truck. So I ended up, you know, I still got a good enough deal on the transmission. I could afford to convert it back over. So what I did is I just bought the new main shaft, the updated main shaft in fifth gear for a diesel, and everything is the same. So I've already got the diesel input shaft, of course, and then the main shaft being the one from the diesel, all the gears, all the synchronizers, everything will go on the main shaft. And the only difference between the gasoline and the diesel version is the fifth gear inside diameter for the diesel is a little bit larger. So basically the shaft from this part right here, which is where the bearing sits, back is larger on the diesel, and then of course it's 29 spline, and this is 23 spline. So that's the differences there. So if you guys end up finding an NV4500 for a gasoline truck and you want to convert it, the shaft and the updated shaft with the fifth gear and the nut comes with it was 150 bucks. And then your input shaft is this is a $50 input shaft, and then whatever your bearing cost is like $17 if you want to replace that, the bearing on the input shaft. So you know, you're looking at about 200 bucks to convert it if you do all the work yourself. So it's really not that bad. So I got everything tore apart, got everything cleaned up real good, scrubbed it down and degreased it. And then I also took the dial indicator here and checked the in play on this main shaft here on the bottom. The specs are, if I'm just going off of memory, but it was like 2 to 6 thousandths of in play on this shaft, and it's the same on the main shaft as well. But I was right there at 4.5, so, or 4 thousandths, 0.45 thousandths. Let's see, I also, since the last video, got my input shaft changed out here on my transfer case. So this is now the input shaft from an MP273 Dodge transfer case. This is the MP273 Ford that came out of my truck, and then I just changed out the input shaft with the MP273 for a Dodge transfer case. So it's a direct fit, everything goes right back together. The only thing you have to pay attention to, and I'll put up some pictures on the video too, is, I don't know if you can really see real good, but basically the bottom of this splined area, there's a, what they call a pocket bearing. Excuse me. And you're gonna have to make sure that when you put it back together, you put that pocket bearing at the right depth so that it rides on the shaft inside. And again, I'll put up pictures of that pocket bearing and everything so you can see what I'm talking about. But it's really straightforward, really simple, not a big deal. So just something you have to pay attention to when you do that conversion there. Alright, so let me take you out here and show you the most exciting part. Is I've got the motor sitting in the truck now. So she's sitting in there on those Diesel Conversion Specialist motor mounts. They're really good mounts. I mean, I was very happy with the mount. Not so happy with the company, but I was happy with the mounts. But yeah, so she's in there. I've got to hook up all of my power steering lines. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do to get those converted over to the Ford side. Hook my vacuum pump into the vacuum booster there. And then this is the stock Ford AC compressor. I just have to get it out of the way. And I'm going to use the Dodge compressor on the mount here, and then convert my lines to hook up to the Dodge compressor. So, but yeah, super excited. Just sitting in there looking pretty. Under here I got the transmission out. Transfer case, of course, you saw it. So I'm just going to try and sell that transmission there. It's only got 53,000 miles on it, so it's still in really good shape. I'll go ahead and sell it to recoup some of my cost. The other thing I've got going is my wiring harness. So this is the factory wiring harness off of the 5.4, and I've just got it all of the loom and everything stripped off of it, so I can do away with all of my extra plugs for injectors and coil packs and everything else that I'm not going to need. But I still want to put this harness back in after I eliminate all the wires that I don't need and get the wires that I do need kind of fitted to the engine, and then put all the loom back on that I need, just to give it that factory appearance and function. So everything will just be plug and play. But I have to, after I get all of my sensors put in, I've got oil pressure sensor, engine coolant temperature sensor, and then where's it at? Oh, the pickup for the tachometer. And that should be the only thing really that I need off of this harness, because the AC compressor and everything else runs off of another harness that plugs into this one that's still in the truck. So as soon as I get all that stuff figured out and get it all fitted so I can kind of put the harness on the motor and figure out where everything needs to be and get everything sized right and modified to fit, then I'll get it all the loom put back on, and that way it'll just, everything will fit like it was, that way from the factory. So, but alright guys, that's where we're at right now. So as soon as I get some more stuff done, get that transmission put back together and get it in, and go ahead and put the transfer case back in, I'll give you another update at that point. So thanks for watching, and if you like following along with these videos, then just click the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.